Mexico. Then she had a big win over Iris Tang Sing of Brazil by 7 points to 5. That was the big result, the number 2 seed going out. So these athletes are here. They've deserved their place. They've beaten the 1 and 2 seeds to get here. She then had a 24-4 victory over Viana of the United States. It was a golden point victory over Lin, also of Chinese Taipei, another one of those same country bouts. And then she's also beaten Tan of China in the semi-final. So she's only beaten a Chinese athlete in the semi. She's hoping to do the same here in the final. It's Canada versus Croatia in the men's -64. Don't have any detail of who it is there. My eyesight isn't good. There's one thing about these screens, is those names aren't big enough.
Yeah, they're hard to see. You're right.
Massive big zeros for the scores, and then the names are the tiniest thing ever. So I'd suggest a slight redesign there.
Yeah, we can ask for that in the reboot for sure.
Yeah, we'll put that in the feedback. So these two have they've beaten the number 1 and 2 seeds to get here. They're here. They've earned their right to compete in this US Open final.
That's a good roundhouse kick, defensive roundhouse kick, and follow by the Chinese player. Gets her first 2 points of the game, so that's a nice shot there for the player from China, using her height. Yeah. Both players getting numbers, definitely just underneath the threshold with both trading kicks. Chinese player just keeps her 2-0 lead there.
Just to let you know, if you do want the -63, we've managed to kick off the stream again for this for day 6, so for ring 6. So get onto ring 6 right now. That stream is back up and running. If you are a big fan of Canada, Croatia over on ring 6, we are streaming to that. So that's more by luck than design, in that it hadn't closed down properly, so we're able to start the stream again. Meanwhile, Liu of China 2-0 ahead here with the one kick. Right on the button as well it was. Right on the threshold. 18 units of strength, whatever we want to call them. I've debated that before. What should we call them?
I like units of strength.
Hit points was one thing we talked about, and then units of strength. Yeah, okay. A little bit non-specific. You know.
Yeah, it is. I mean, definitely, like, it's not necessarily a power meter, but it could be construed as one.
Yeah. Well, we did. It did get us through one quite boring match over in Azerbaijan once with me and my co-commentator, and we were sort of making up sort of Korean names because we felt it should be Korean. So, it was 18 watts. What could you call them? And yeah, I can't remember which one we sort of decided on the end, but it was a Korean-sounding name that we came up with. But I can't remember what it was, so my story isn't very exciting after all. Well, we thought of something, but we're in America. What we call them, something like, we called them woks or something like that. I think like watts for strength. We called them woks.
Got it.
Typical Western humour, I suppose. They won't be rolling around in the aisles in China when we're coming out of these Asian jokes.
Well, definitely the threshold. The threshold on the Generation 2 is a little bit harder to score on, and we've all noticed that. And it's been an interesting point of contention to talk about. Do we want to make it harder to score the body, even though that it's really easy to score to the head if you just barely touch it?
Yeah.
So maybe a debate for another day.
We'll leave that. Yeah. But it is great. We see the numbers on there, and that's fantastic because it does give us an idea of. The reason where you think something that might be a strong kick. There's still those issues where you sometimes see a really strong hit and it just hasn't got the sensor correctly or whatever, and it doesn't just registers. And I think that's just part of the sport now, isn't it? That people
it is. It is. You're right. And so you don't get too high or too low over that. You just continue to plug away at it. And
that comes under the category of you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, no doubt. This will be a leg check by the Chinese player for sure, and she's raising her leg just a little bit too much instead of kicking, and it's going to show there with a point for Chinese Taipei, and she's right back in it with only down 1.
Yeah. Yes, this is a really low-scoring game, but it's not that they're not attacking. It's just that there's some good defense going on here as well.
Great covering by both players. Their hands are in tight, covering the Hogus. Watching the face, close spinning face kick there by China, but But the Taipei athlete gets her head out of the way at the last second, as we talked about earlier. It's just being safe and being experienced.
Yeah.
Both players doing a really good job, Adrian, of just keeping their legs out, but not, and as soon as I say that, we get a deduction.
Yeah.
But both keeping their legs out just enough to try to score, but also to make sure that their hands positions are good and that neither one of them are getting it through their guards. So they've been solid to this point. Both players very close right now, both close, getting numbers onto the body, just not quite enough. Chinese player with a nice odd-ball front leg roundhouse kick just gets a 9 on the threshold, so that's interesting to see that she gets that 9.
Yeah.
With great pop and great technique, and it's just not enough to score.
Well, China has certainly brought a few new athletes out into the world. We saw, we've seen a couple that have done very, very well. Liu is not even world ranked. She doesn't have any world ranking at all at this stage, and she beat the world number 3 in Itzel Manjarez a little bit earlier on. It's quite incredible that China are bringing out a few new athletes here as second round is complete, and
it's a great second. That's a great round. We're gonna have a great third round here.
Yeah. Meanwhile, over on court 6, it's 7-6 to Canada over Croatia as they start the third round. Now they're going to be a little bit tired. I think that's the last semi-final. So, and they're due to be fighting, well, the final in about half an hour, I think. The Chinese Taipei coach is certainly quite vocal.
Yeah, she's animated for sure. She seems a little irritated with the fact that she can't get through the guard, and it's kind of showing that, hey, her hand positions are here. You need to kick around it or not underneath it, and that's kind of what I took from that. It'll be interesting to see, can she execute that plan, because she just hasn't been able to kick through China's guard to this point.
Yeah.
Been active, as you said earlier, for sure.
Have a point there for Liu.
Yeah, Chinese Taipei looks a little discouraged, but she's fine.
Yeah, she every time she, oh, that was incredible. She doesn't manage to put the knee down or anything.
Yeah, impressive balance by China.
That was very good.
Very impressive.
Every time Hung goes in there, there's a block from China. That could have almost scored. China nearly get a point there. That was just 3 below the threshold. In fact, 2 points, of course. 2 points for the kick to the vest. 11-9 to Croatia in that semi-final over on court 6. 1.5 minutes to go. Hung is just... Well, this really is the Great Wall of China, isn't it?
Sure feels that way, right?
You know, Hung cannot get anything, and well, she gets another gamjon there for the leg up. But
yeah, hasn't scored a point.
No.
The points all been given on deductions, so she's, in order for her to win this game, she's going to have to score. She can't rely on the deductions here, in my opinion. So she's going to have to find a way to get through that block, score some points, and then put some pressure on her, and maybe take the lead with maybe a head kick, face kick of some type.
Yes, it's everything she does. She's just got a leg in the way. It's just physically she cannot get through. And Liu of China just losing that little bit of a height advantage. She's searching for the head. That's 3 times in a row. That leg's gone in there. And I think.
Great roundhouse kick on follow after the. There it is. There's the front leg roundhouse kick to take the lead to 4 points. Now make it 5 points. So she's really in a lot of trouble. Taipei player is really in a lot of trouble here, and we'll see if she can maybe pull it out. Hung's going to have to definitely do a few things that are maybe out of the box and are risky for sure.
I think as a coach, you'd probably advise that Hung, she is coming in a pretty much one-dimensional. There's the head kick from Liu. You know, Hunger's never really changed her tactics. She's, you know, if this was a sort of Cheyenne Lewis situation, she would do something different.
Sure.
She'd move around. She'd try a different angle. She's making it easy for Liu to defend, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. She looks a little like, well, she looks a little one-dimensional for sure. But let's give China a lot of credit because she's making her look that way with her height and you know. So, I mean, she didn't get to the finals because she's not good, but she's really good. And it's just, but you're right. That right leg, front leg, and that left leg, front leg, it just hasn't been able to get through it. So, some adjustments have to be made, and I think that's what the Taipei coach was saying in between rounds 2 and 3.
I think when Hun goes to bed tonight, she's going to close her eyes and she's going to see a picture of Liu's sole of her foot.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be ingrained on her eyeballs for the next few hours.
Some absolutely great blocking or cover work by the China Liu from China, and she's going to walk away. It looks like with a gold medal here with just under 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
So we'll see if she can.
Meanwhile, on court 6, it's a 15-10 win for Croatia. So we have Croatia in the final.
Croatian athlete looks fantastic to me, so that's going to be a great final. It's one I've been looking forward to all day, Adrian. So
yeah.
So now hopefully we're gonna get it with a good final there with that athlete for sure.
Well, that's a superb performance, Liu Kaiqi. That was superb, and well, that was never in doubt, that result. And Hung was pretty much a passenger in that game, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was.
She never scored all the way through.
No, definitely had a